Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Oh, Wednesday, my bad joke day. I went to a bookstore and asked the person behind the counter, where's the self help section? She said, if I told you, it would defeat the purpose. I had to go find it myself. Who knew? Anyway, for my clutter friends out there, remember, do something before it gets any worse. It won't get better by itself. So you got to be eager to create more space in your life, which means good things can come into that space, but you got to clear it out first. As for my journal writing friends, who are three people who've influenced the most change in your life? Hmm? Write about it. I'd like to hear about it. I'll be glad to share it with you because remember, conversation is intercourse for the soul, so let's keep these conversations flowing between us. My teacher, BKS Iyengar, says yoga brings a transformation by shedding light or awareness into areas that were dark before, meaning you aren't conscious of this. You were ignorant. And practice leads to maturity. Once you were seeking something, but after practice matures, now you have seen. Now you know. Everything comes on its own. Things that used to be on the surface and rough, now they're subtle insights, and things are smooth. Mm. Things become transparent the more you discover your own true nature, as he would say. But what works against this is the capitalist system that has this kind of hoarding, anal, retentive mind to it. But addictions to accumulating stuff only numbs us more. All addiction is just an analgesic in order not to feel the pain, to numb yourself. But your addictions keep you unaware of what's going on inside yourself. It lessens your capacity for moral outrage, and both love and deep anger have passion connected to it. So it removes you from looking at the things that are wrong in our society and using your critical intellect to find a way to do something better, offer it. But the addict within us is unaware of our own potential, unaware of our gifts, unaware of the excitement of life, unaware of being alive and the extravagance that's all around us that we could take in and experience more joy. Now, although I love what yoga offers us as something that's been bequeathed to us by the ancestors of the past, so if by ancient wisdom we mean the timeless truth as it's applied to our historical moment, great. But the past wisdom was adequate for those societies, not for our own. The cornerstone of New Age thought is everyone's heading to spirit. The truth is, Eden is ahead of us, not behind us. God doesn't live in the collective past, but in the collective future. So, what's our vision for that? One thing I can tell you is holding on to not forgiving people or forgiving yourself just breeds self righteousness. Forgiveness is not forgetting, forgiveness is not condoning, forgiveness is not downplaying, forgiveness is not reconciling. It's accepting that you're ready to stop being a victim and being chained to this other person or situation that you can't let go of and you want to adjudicate it. But you're in charge of your life, and releasing these thoughts are healing. Otherwise, you'll end up with what you don't want. I believe everybody's drawn to the attraction to immerse themselves in spirit, and yet our ego is always afraid to leave the sphere that it's become attached to rise above, so to speak. But then we're imprisoned by what we've created. And once you realize that limitations are not natural for the soul, which by nature is free, so it longs for freedom behind or beneath all other desires. And in spiritual perfection, no desire remains. And so you have to use the desire to get rid of all the desires and then let that go. Like Ramakrishna says, you use a thorn to pick out another thorn, then you throw both thorns away. Anyway, from the power of positive thinking, I hope that you all choose and therefore cause what is active in your vibration, which means beat the drum of what you want, not what you don't want. Practice the presence. No good experience is out of your reach because spirit is with you. You can't say to yourself, I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not trained. along those lines. Even though I always say to my students, you're trained or untrained, and they say train. Yeah. Don't cut yourself off from your own growth and this deep spiritual realization that we're all potential of, because your good is in the present moment. But just remember this old story called Bear Hugs Kettle. This is what we do to ourselves. A bear once wandered into a campfire, smelled the food that was going over on this big kettle, and went over to it. And as it touched it, it burned it. So it got really enraged and it grabbed the kettle and hugged it to itself. And the more it hugged it to itself, the more the kettle burned it. It couldn't let go, but it was burning itself by holding on. So that's called Bear Hugs Kettle. So, what are the issues in your life that you're hugging to yourself that still burn you? I hope you find a way to let them go, because I know it doesn't feel good. Go to GabrielHalpern.com, sign up, tell other people you know. I'd love to have the conversation with you and all the newbies. And for the people who listen but don't subscribe, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day.